Hello and welcome to the Rosed Show Extra. It is Monday the 17th of May. Wetherspoons Winchester is officially open.
Woo!
The Exchange is also open for business indoors now.
Come on!
The most exciting news of the day, however, is that Harrison Courtney is back in the recording studio.
Hello.
For a little episode of the show.
Yes.
We're going to be talking about the Southampton versus Fulham game. And it is the first time that we are recording with cameras on and hopefully uploading this episode to YouTube. It's more of a test episode. We'll keep it short and sweet.
Love that.
But we are going to talk about the game at St Mary's on Saturday afternoon. We did watch the first half. We missed the second due to suddenly deciding to go to Southampton. But it was a fantastic victory for the Saints. Che Adams scored early on.
Great goal.
Great goal, lovely goal. Nathan Teller with a fine finish after an amazing cross from Kyle Walker-Peters for the second. Fabio Carvalho on his first start for Fulham brought one back, made it 2-1, and Theo the Goat Walcott,
Yeah, I heard that.
he sealed the win for the Saints. A 3-1 victory. And we are just going to go through some players, do some player ratings for the game, and see where this leaves Southampton in the bigger picture. So Alex Mccarthy, what do you think of his performance, Harrison?
Well, he hasn't played in a while. I think he's been just. He wasn't great. Put it that way.
He's been poor this season.
He was out of form. And I think, especially between the sticks, it needed a refresh. It needed
100%.
defensively that a different bit of confidence. Needed that different, just a fresher face in there. So Fraser Forster, oh my God, has he been?
He's done very well.
He's cemented himself as potential for number one for Saints. To be fair, he saved that penalty in the Crystal Palace game, and he performed really. Obviously we did concede, but you could have conceded in the game, aren't you? But he performed so well in that in that Fulham game. McCarthy performed so well in that Fulham game. He should be played more. I think now he's got that confidence back in his system.
Yeah, the fight is on for that number one spot.
Yeah. They're definitely competing against each other, but. I don't know. I prefer McCarthy personally. I feel like he's got more experience behind Saints, and that's all I can really say. He's more of a veteran, if you know what I'm saying.
I think personally for this game, there's nothing he could have done about that Fulham goal. It was a great strike, crossbar and in, good finish from the young Fabio Carvalho. I'll give McCarthy a 6 out of 10 game. I thought he did quite well.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I wouldn't say it was like outstanding, but I would say it was just a normal goalkeeper game. Yeah,
I don't think Fulham had the chances for McCarthy to really have an outstanding game. They only had 3 shots on target, but he did what he needs to do. He could not have done much more. Someone who also could not have done much more was Kyle Walker-Peters. I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah, no, he's. I said in the last podcast, genuinely, I think he's probably one of our best players this season. You see on Twitter, you see on Southampton Twitter, the fans are rating him so highly. He's always getting fans player of the match. And I think he's been awesome personally. I don't see him going anywhere this summer.
Agreed.
I see him staying. I feel like he's got a few more seasons in him. But if he keeps improving like this, he's definitely getting bought off us. Our owners love a bit of the money, so he's definitely getting bought off us soon if he carries on. But for now, I think he's all right.
I thought he was fantastic this game. What was your rating out of 10 for Kyle Walker-Peters?
From what I saw, and also from the highlights, thank you Sky Sports. I would probably give him, I'd say an 8.
I'd agree. 8 out of 10 for Kyle Walker-Peters. Fantastic game. Moving on to the left-back position, someone else who impressed massively, I thought, was Mohamed Salisu. What are your thoughts on his game today?
Salisu,
the other day,
has been in hibernation, I'd say. He's been climatising for like 17 million months. It's finally getting played, but I feel like because we're safe from relegation, I feel like Ralph is now giving the young players a chance. Yeah. Taking off Danny Ings in half time to put on, Teller. Just like that, you'd never see that in a normal Premier game. But because we're safe, I think we get to see more potential in our squad, and I think also giving confidence in the fans to see our squad is actually, it's actually somewhat okay. Salisu played amazingly. He's lethal. He's lethal in that position. But the person he's got in front of him, I think is making him look good. To be fair,
I thought we saw in the first half Redmond was shouting at Salisu.
Yeah,
and I think we
weren't happy.
Yeah, we were pretty furious at that because Salisu was solid all game, and every time he gave it to Redmond.
Oh, the effort and I have to say the effort, the headers he was putting
amazing,
in. Yeah. You shout winners on a pro clubs match, he's there.
He was a brick wall.
He was literally a brick wall in defence. I love him. I'd definitely give him an 8 or
8 out of 10.
I'd go for an 8.5. I think if we're doing halves, I go 8.5.
Yeah, we'll sneak in a 0.5. We'll give Mohamed Salah an 8.5. A very, very solid game at left back, I thought, especially since he'd come into the team from a while out. Hasenhüttl hasn't really trusted him too much. Hopefully, we will see more of him next campaign. Moving on to the centre backs, I don't think there's much to be said about them. They couldn't really do a lot. It was Jack Stephens and Yannick Vestergaard.
That says it all, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That says it all. Jack Stephens, he's got experience in the Saints squad. I mean, he has to be praised for that performance against Man City last season. I think was it last season? Yeah, it was last season. And I mean, I don't really know what to say. Vestergaard, great at the start of the season. He's been poor. He's been poor recently. Although to be fair, this game they put a shift in, both of them.
I'll give them both 6 out of 10s. To be
fair, I'd give Jack Stephens a 6. I'd give Vestergaard a 5. Bearing in mind, Jack Stephens doesn't really change. Like, he's been that 6 out of 10 the entire time. He has a few bad games, but he never really has like an amazing game. Vestergaard, on the other hand, he's assisted balls from the he's assisted goals from the centre back position.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's got more potential. Mm-hmm. But I mean that game, 6 out of 10.
If we're calling, I think if we call 5 par, sort of 5, you've had a very average game, done nothing. Anything less is poor, I'd say.
Yeah.
I'd say Vestergaard and Stephens did their job, so 5 or 6 is fair. I'd give them both 6s personally.
Yeah.
I think they both had pretty similar games. Couldn't have done a lot more. Couldn't have done much less. Moving on to the right wing position, to Kumi Minamino. What were your thoughts on Minamino's game?
Minamino had, the thing is with Minamino, he had that one great game when he first started, and everyone was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, we found the missing piece here. But he hasn't been getting played, so he's not in form really. And in that game, I'd just say it's an average game. I mean, the Crystal Palace game he played as well. He only had a few touches on the ball.
I personally thought, sorry to interject, thought he was better in this Fulham game, at least from what I saw,
100%.
than the Palace game. He looked more settled. What we found with Hasenhüttl, I think, this season, is that he trusts who he trusts. He trusts players who have given him those solid performances in the past, and players like Minamino and players like Salisu have struggled to break in. But giving them a run of games would help out, and I think it showed, as Minamino did improve. Salisu also very solid, and I think both of them had a good game. Minamino maybe not as impressive as Salisu, didn't have as much to do. But personally, for me, I'd give Minamino a 6.5.
I mean, I'd stretch just to about a 7. To be fair, I mean, he improved so much from that Crystal Palace game. I think genuinely, as you said, he's more settled.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's just got more confidence to actually try something new.
Mm-hmm.
Last time he had a very average game and didn't do a lot. This game, I think he was a bit more like, I might have a chance to prove myself here.
I thought he was better. Someone who certainly was not better was Nathan the Goat Redmond.
We don't say that name around me. That's banned.
we cannot sneak the words "the" and "goat" in the name of someone.
That shall not be named.
He was absolutely terrible. Every time he got the ball, he seemed to give it away. Every time he was in on goal, he pretty much ruined his chance.
Dreadful.
Shots were going over the bar, giving it away,
hitting into this podcast.
I mean, one landed just over the studio. A bit of a lucky escape there for us, and it will be a lucky escape if Southampton can get rid of Redmond in this summer.
Genuinely, I think he's dreadful.
Agreed.
He's that one player in your year 4 team. I think he's prime Messi and he's trying everything but losing it, and then blames others for his mistakes.
Yeah,
he's like Cal the Dragon on our team. Genuinely,
that's a beautiful reference.
Yeah.
Mustafi used to do the same for Arsenal. He'd make an absolute clang, and then he's pointing at Bellerin like, "What are you doing, mate?" It's like own up to your mistakes, son.
Honestly,
you're piss poor, and sometimes you got to own it. Take responsibility, son. You're a professional footballer. You're an experienced professional footballer. I would give Redmond a 0.
I would give him.
That's generous.
That's just generous. I would give him a 0. He's running on goal, spamming the right stick, thinking he's got 5-star skill moves. He's dreadful. He's dreadful.
Awful. He's someone Southampton need to get rid of.
100%.
Someone who Southampton would definitely do well to not get rid of would be James Ward-Prowse. James Lord-Prowse. He was sublime again, I thought.
James Ward-Prowse, consistent as ever. Even when we had that 9-0 loss, he didn't have a bad game. He was sticking in tackles, and even in that Fulham game, it was amazing. I'd give him an 8. Maybe I'll push to a 9. But and I see it consistently. It's consistently a 9. Like, he doesn't really, I don't see him in any other shirt. Put it that way.
Agreed.
He's not good enough to go to a Big Six club, but he's perfect for Southampton because he's our engine.
I think he's pushing. I know he's probably not good enough to start at a top 6 club. Maybe if he went to Spurs, maybe if he went to Arsenal, he could push because he's a very talented player.
I'd see him. In Arsenal state, I'd see him pushing.
For Arsenal to be fair, maybe not for Leicester, who are now an actual Big 6 club.
Yeah.
Ward-Prowse, he's a model professional. There's not much more we can say about Ward-Prowse than he is a fantastic professional footballer, a fantastic person, captain, fantastic. Another assist in this game. He's just fantastic.
He's consistent.
Midfielder.
He's just consistent.
He's absolutely consistent.
And you need that. So
he's got 11 goal contributions just from set pieces this season. A few more goals which weren't from penalties, I believe.
Penalties.
Penalties. I know people could say he's a pen merchant. I don't necessarily think not a pen merchant, a free kick merchant more so. I don't necessarily think that he is. I think he's a good footballer all round. It's a bit of a false narrative that he is. He's just good from dead balls. I think he could certainly be in the England squad primarily for his ability from dead balls, but I think he's got a lot more than that his game. Yeah, his stamina.
He can sprint for 90 minutes and he'll be alright.
He's amazing. So would you push it? I'd push him to an 8.5 out of 10 personally.
I'd give him a 9.
You give him a 9?
I'd give him a 9.
I think we can settle on a 9. Stuart Armstrong was next to him in central midfield. He's a player who I admire a lot. I think he's a very talented footballer, can play right wing, probably more naturally. But he's filled in very nicely at central midfield. What were your thoughts on his game?
Sublime. Genuinely, I think he's unreal. Again, good enough for Southampton. That's the saying I like to use. But I think he's brilliant. He's a crucial piece of our club. Genuinely, he's a crucial piece, and a crucial piece to keep the play moving. Like again with Salisu, you see the effort he's putting in. He's always running. You know what I mean? He's always trying to get that interception. He's always sliding for the ball when he needs to.
Yeah.
And the runs he makes and the balls he's whipping in. I think they're pretty decent, to be fair. I think he's unreal. I'll give him an 8.
I do think he's really good. I think an 8 out of 10 is deserved. And I personally think with Stuart Armstrong is that he goes under the radar quite a lot because, he's Scottish, because he's not got the fanciest name. He's not got the fanciest look to him. Yeah. But he genuinely is.
Oh, his hair, though.
Fantastic. Yeah. Oh, what a trim. But he genuinely is fantastic on the ball. His dribbling's fantastic. He's got really good footwork. I think he's a very good midfielder, and he's filled in nicely at central midfield.
Yeah.
Obviously, you thrived a lot more with Romeo, but when Armstrong plays, he does the job there, and I think an 8 out of 10 is very fair for him.
Yeah.
Moving on to the forwards now, it is that classic strike duo of Danny Ings, Che Adams, your best duo when everyone is fit. Che Adams again getting on the score sheet, a nicely taken finish.
Yeah, my surprise. I mean, Che Adams is tilting me. I will never like him. I'm sure he's a great person, but I just don't rate him. But he's proving himself a little bit. I think he's doing bits. He's doing bits for our club.
He does well, Danny.
A goal scored, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Put it that way. I've been a bit harsh on him in times, but that volley was sweet.
It was nice because it's one of those where you don't expect it to come. It goes through. Yeah. It goes through a lot of players somehow. It somehow falls at his feet, and he could quite easily have gone, "Oh shit, the ball's here," and spunked over the bar.
That's the thing.
Which is what Redmond would have done, by the way.
That's the thing. At the start of the season, he did that loads. I think that's why I didn't like him.
Yeah, he's got a bit of an agenda against Che Adams.
Yeah, no, but I think in recent games he's showing them that he's not fumbling because I think he overthought every decision because obviously he's starting at a Premier League club for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? It's a big deal for someone who's. I mean, he's still young, isn't he?
He's still. Let me have a quick look. I think he's 24, 25.
23 years young, I think.
He's only played in the Premier League for a season and a half. He came from the Championship last season from Birmingham. Was very good in the Championship. That step up, it is quite big, and he did struggle at times last season. I think post lockdown, he started to show the player that he was capable of being. And I think at times this season he started the season very well. He sort of fell off in the middle when you were on a really poor run of form. I can't remember if he was injured or not, but now Danny Ings is back. I think he has been very good, personally. He's got 9 Premier League. He's 24 years old.
24, okay.
24 years old. He's got 9 Premier goals this season.
Danny Ings is Che Adams' mentor sort of thing. You see the training videos, and he's there. I think when Danny Ings on the pitch, Che performs. And I mean, clearly, you see in that little bit there, that volley he hit so sweetly.
Very nice finish. Yeah.
I think he's just overthinking his decisions a lot less. I'll give him an 8
or
a 7. I'll give him a 7.
A 7. I'll push him between a 7.5. I think is fair for him.
All right.
I think Adams did well again. Someone who's done well this season when he's been fit, but perhaps didn't shine so much this game due to maybe not getting the chances. He was taken off early because Hasenhüttl wanted to trust Teller, but Danny Ings.
I'm a big Ings fan.
Yeah, I think we all are. He's fantastic.
Yeah. He's a brilliant. I mean, you know, I don't think he's got any haters personally.
Yeah, you love him, don't you?
Yeah, I love Danny Ings. I think he's quality. I think he's brilliant on the ball. Again, doesn't overthink his chances. He's always there. He took that heavy touch in that game. One little mistake can be forgiven, I think.
I think the ball through did make it quite hard for him. The keeper came out quite fast. I wouldn't put too much down on him because generally when he gets that chance, he is clinical. And I personally think when he's fully fit for a whole season, that after Harry Kane, he is arguably England's best striker. You know,
he's unreal. I mean, you saw last season, that Sheffield United game was so funny. He was one goal off being Golden Boot, like drawing Vardy.
What did he get? 22, 23?
I think Vardy only had 24, he was 23.
Yeah.
And in that Sheffield United game, like, everyone was just literally booting the ball up to Danny, trying to get him that goal at the end, towards the end of it, but unfortunately he didn't. But yeah, I mean that says it already. 23 goals in a season, and he was fully fit that entire season.
He was, finally he was fully fit.
I was talking to people, and people were shocked. People were saying like, "Oh my god, he's been fully fit," and that. I'm like, "What? You know, isn't that normal?" And you look back at his career at Liverpool and stuff, and you realise how often he gets injured.
He would have succeeded at a club like Liverpool if he wasn't injury prone. I think
exactly, personally. And then evident this season, he's been, I think it's 3 injuries now. He's had 3 times out.
He has, yeah. I think, maybe even more than that because his season does seem to have been very stop-start, and I think it's impressive that he's got to 12 Premier League goals and he could make it a couple more.
Bearing in mind with a stop-start season, 12 Premier League goals is still impressive. I mean, I think that's amazing. I think Sheffield United only scored 12 goals.
No, I agree. It's a very good return. I've just looked it up last season. He scored 22 Premier League goals compared to Jamie Vardy's 23. However, 4 of Jamie Vardy's goals were penalties. Only 1 of Danny Ings' goals was penalties.
Well, that says all, doesn't it?
But he was joint second with Aubameyang.
Yeah.
Aubameyang had 2 penalties. So Danny Ings last season, he did get the most non-penalty goals in the Premier League, and that is a testament to how good of a striker he is when fully fit. On the Fulham game, he didn't do a lot, but I think you've got to look at the bigger picture with Danny Ings. It's only one game where he didn't really do a lot. And for every Saints fan, I think he's pretty much God.
Yeah. The Lord Ings.
I think this game, probably only a 6 out of 10. He couldn't have done much more, as we've said with a few players. A 6 is fair. But we do love you, Danny Ings.
We do love you.
And that does sum up the player ratings. Another good win for you guys.
Oh, we got 2 more players.
2 more players. Sorry, the substitutions. I did forget.
Yes, well, 2 more players.
I forgot all about the subs.
Nathan Teller. We'll do it at the same time. Nathan Teller, Theo Walcott. Their link-up play was unreal. I feel that's like the
particularly Teller for me.
Yeah, it's the Audi, Kane and Son that game. They were I mean the fluid. I'm not going to talk about Teller's goal. I mean that was a standard goal. Young player. I mean it's good, but I mean it's just a goal at the end of the day.
Right place, right time. Though it's his first Premier League goal.
Exactly. And I mean that's a big confidence boost. Yeah. I see him getting played a lot more. The goal I want to talk about is Teller and Walcott. That link-up play was so fluid. That little back pass and then
amazing.
Walcott bangs it in. I thought that was brilliant. I think both of them should get at least 8 for their games. Actually, no. That's a bit generous.
I don't know.
Thing is, Teller wasn't on for that long. Oh, sorry. Walcott wasn't on for that long.
Walcott wasn't. No, I think Walcott probably a 7.5.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, Walcott gets a 7. Teller gets an 8 from me.
I think for me personally, who did we give a 9? We gave someone. I think it might have been Salisu. I think Teller was probably Southampton's best player on the day because he scored the goal and he got that assist that sealed you the win. I think I'd give him a 9 as well.
All right, okay, I'd agree with that. I mean, you convinced me. Well? I'd give him a 9. Yeah, I'll give him a 9. I'd say Salisu and Teller. I mean, the 2 new players were the best on the team that time.
Yeah. So I agree. I think Walcott 7.5 and Teller a 9. So who is your man of the match for the day?
Man of the match for me that day was Salisu.
Yeah. Mo Salisu. Big up. What a performance. For me, I would just edit to Nathan Teller for his impact, especially since he's come on and sort of get in the flow of the game, and straight away he went and scored, and then he got an assist in a fantastic team goal. So that is the Southampton versus Fulham review. Thank you very much for everyone who's listened. Thank you very much, Harrison, for coming on yet again. Southampton up into 14th. It looks like they've sealed their spot in the top 14. It's not a bad season for you. And it has been a pleasure to do another episode. So thank you, everyone, very much for listening. And we'll be back with a full episode with Michael and Jack soon. So cheers. Boom. Lovely bit of gear.
I'll probably have to switch to your camera because I think mine just cuts out.
Does it?
Yeah, mine cuts out in like 13 minutes.
Ah, that's alright.
How long was it recording?
20 minutes.
Oh, really?
It's still recording. I don't know where's the mouse gone. Oh, there it is.